So only a couple of minutes to go in this session now, as the faster riders work their way around towards the Christchurch Carousel corner. So that big old KH2 takes a bit of muscling around the sweeper, but look at it go once he gets the throttle open. Goodness gracious me. No wonder he has to get on the brakes a wee bit early for turn one. Holy heck, and there we have someone overshooting turn one and off onto the drag strip. That is not a good place to end up. Wow. You really don't want to end up down in there. There is some particularly nasty track surface down there. Still, the riders managed to stop the bike and maintain it upright, so kudos to that rider. And so that brings that class to a close for the session. Now we will have Group 7 come back out for the remainder of their session. So that is the training class, or the juniors. Good to see that they get a second shot at it. Of course, in traditional road racing terms, in the event of a stoppage, the rider that causes the stoppage is ineligible for a restart, which I think is a pretty sound rule. However, in this case, given that we're just having a go, and everyone is entitled to have their go, I expect that rider's dad will have his bike prepped, ready, checked. Rider will have gone to the first aid tent and been cleared and had his gear checked by the officials and be ready to go out again. And just coming across the line there, we have Daniel Clark on his 93,000 kilometre old CBR 500. Amazing. And that bike still runs like clockwork. Daniel also rides a DR650 adventure bike, and in the last couple of years he's put 40-odd thousand kilometres on that as well. So certainly a man who enjoys his motorcycling, enjoys getting out and about on two wheels. And from the sounds of it, enjoys all facets of motorcycling, which is great to see. So here we have the young guns, the juniors, those undergoing junior training, the future of our sport. Lining up for their turn. So big thanks to CMG Motorcycles. CMG Motorcycles supporting this event. So we have Group 7 up now. Group 7 ready to go. Group 3 will be after Group 7. This is a rerun for Group 7. Rerun for Group 7. This is a rerun for Group 7. So there's rider bike number 52, up and about and ready to go again. Keen young man. He's come across from motocross. Certainly a name to watch out for in the future of road racing. So we're just waiting on the pickup vehicle, which is now coming down towards the pit road. So we'll be ready for a start in just a minute or so. Time for 4 or 5 laps for these young trainers. And there's young Ryder Chamberlain waving to his 2 young sisters up on the embankment. Good on you, mate. Certainly a family affair, this racing. So waiting on track clearance. There just appears to be a little bit of confusion here at the start line. So here we are with the training class out for their allocated session. In smaller numbers as the day goes on. And I will say that it's to riders' credit that they decide that they've had enough for the day. Certainly as the day wears on, tiredness plays a factor in our decision-making process. Sometimes as riders we need to step back and decide whether we have done enough for the day. Remember, if you're carrying on for the day, make sure you remain hydrated. Grab yourself something to eat. It's important to stay hydrated and fueled up. Just as important for you as your bike. Nice to see the trainers maintaining a nice leisurely pace, letting the juniors follow them around. For the juniors and the trainees, it's much more important to be on the correct line than anything else. If you're on the correct line, the speed will come. But if you're going fast, the correct line will not necessarily come to you. So training about right line selection, why we take that particular line, what are the benefits, what are the advantages. As I'm sure everyone has found out who's done a lap today, a lap or more, the circuit is quite technical. There are alternative lines, but not every alternative line is the best line. And it is very hard to string together the perfect lap. In fact, in all the years I've been at racetracks, I don't think I've ever heard a rider tell me that they have strung together the perfect lap. There is always something that they can improve on. Great experience out there for these young riders. Imagine the thrill going to school on Monday and saying that you'd been out at Ruapuna and you'd been doing laps of the circuit. Laps where your heroes had raced and won. The superstars of the future out there training today. Motorcycle Canterbury's had a strong involvement in junior training going back 30 odd years and even longer. There's been junior road racing academies run through Motorcycling Canterbury Incorporated. Names in motorcycle racing history such as Peter Jones, the instigator of the RG150 class, which over time morphed into the 125 four-stroke class, the 150 Gix 150 class, which then slowly became the Ninja 250 class. And now we have the KOs, the KO 150s, purpose-built track bikes, come delivered with slick tyres, no lights, fiberglass bodywork, quality brakes and suspension. Perfect for the junior racers to jump on and make a start. There's a class for the KOs at most MCI events. And I'm just seeing a few spits of rain hitting the window from my commentary position. Certainly not what anyone was counting on today. It's only very light at this stage. It will be having absolutely no effect on the track conditions. The track will be warm enough to be drying itself as the rain hits it. But it certainly may be causing a little bit of consternation for the riders. Many a rider put off by spots on the visor. So under a minute to go now for Class 7. And congratulations to the riders in Class 7, the juniors coming out and having a crack, showing that the track is available for all levels of rider. We all start somewhere. And to be able to start the juniors in a safe environment like this is absolutely amazing, and a credit to MCI and its organisers. Congratulations to everyone involved. Congratulations to the junior riders for coming out and having the courage to ride around in front of your peers, in front of your admirers. To all the riders today, congratulations on brilliant riding throughout the day. It's been a pleasure to watch. Everyone has maintained a good level of decent riding. There's been courtesy throughout the passing manoeuvres. It's been a pleasure watching from the control tower. So Class 4 heading out now for their remaining 10 minutes. Looks like the class numbers are starting to thin out a bit now. People are starting to feel tired towards the end of the day, and that's totally understandable. Everyone's done plenty of sessions out there. It's only the brave, the determined, and the spirited left now. So it seems like we've had our rain for the day. Looks like it's blown away without coming to anything, so that's good news for everybody. And the wind's just turning around slightly, becoming more straight up and down the straight rather than a side wind. Makes for turning in off the end of the straight significantly more comfortable. Once again, it's nice watching respectful and clean passing manoeuvres. The faster or more experienced riders making way for the lesser experienced riders on the track, making sure everyone has room to feel safe and comfortable. It is a reasonably wide circuit here. There are multiple lines, so there is no excuse for chopping anyone up on this circuit. Certainly not on an event like this. Overall, I will say that the standard of riding's been exemplary. One or two minor mishaps, but no serious carnage. Certainly been an impressive array of machinery out on display, both on the track and in the pits today. There's been some very, very well prepared race bikes. There's been some very, very stunning looking road bikes. It's been great to hear stories as I've walked around the pits of how much fun everyone's having. How they've enjoyed dicing with their mates. I'm sure the stories will grow and the lap times will shrink. as we head towards work on Monday. And we have a bike down on the exit of Christchurch Casino Carousel. It's in a reasonably safe position. If the rider moves out of the way, there'll be no reason to be concerned. In fact, the rider is up and on the bike. Just parked it on the side of the track there and moving out of the way. So I'd suggest that tiredness played a factor in that. And I think it's something that all riders should be aware of as we head towards the later part of the day, is the need to have consumed some food and plenty of liquids to stay hydrated and fed. It's very easy to make a mistake when you're tired. So a couple of minutes to go in this session. Time enough for everyone to complete one more lap. We've got a large group of riders coming down the straight together, and this group's been together the entire session, dicing and chopping and changing positions and generally having a good time. Certainly they've been giving each other plenty of room, and as we watch them turn into turn one, you'll notice that everyone is giving each other lots of room. There's plenty of space. No one's harassing each other for track position. Everyone forms a nice orderly line, funnels into turn one, turn two together, and off they go. A great display of sportsman style riding. Certainly no need to be chopping and changing under the brakes. Oh, and listen to that little 125 Grand Prix bike out there singing its lungs off. I'll be loving every second of being back out on the track. Of course, there's plenty of those bikes sitting around in garages, hiding around the Canterbury region. I'd suggest that perhaps Steve Ward might have one or two floating around. It would certainly be good to see them come out again at a club level. There would be more than enough of them to make up a sub-class, perhaps within the 300 Supersport class. Of course, they're also eligible now, the vast majority of them, for post-classic racing in pre-95 or pre-89. So perhaps we see them at some other events. So fantastic to see so many road riders out here today, enjoying their day, making the most of the opportunity to get out and do some laps. I hope you're all enjoying yourselves and making the most of the day. Certainly seeking a little bit of advice from some of the races that are available for instruction. I'm more than happy to talk you through laps and circuit design, corner design, braking points, and all the things associated with racing. So don't be shy about asking them for advice.